Moving on, let's get started with this 10-mark question. With reference to the information provided, so of course the figures, the extracts, assess the likely impact on the Rwandan economy of the change in aid received between 2017 and 2018. So change in aid between 2017 and 2018. Let's have a quick look at that first figure we covered, which was talking about aid funding received by Rwanda per capita. So it shows 2017, 2018. Of course, here we can see a drop in the amount of aid funding received per capita. And of course, for the 10-mark question, the 2 application marks, this is going to be a great bit of application just to include, help you secure their marks. So this isn't a perfect line, but I'd say probably it's just below 103, so $102 in 2017. 2018 looks quite close to 91, I would say, maybe 92. They'll probably say 91 there. So yeah. So the level of aid has dropped. Of course, it's not a perfectly straight line. Maybe you say $103, but the level of aid in 2017 was around 102 per capita. Of course, it's not a perfectly straight line, but of course, in your exam you have paper and a ruler, so it'll be much easier. But yeah, in Rwanda per capita, the amount of aid between 2017 and 2018 nearly dropped around $10, which of course is a significant amount. And the question is asking us the impact of this drop in aid. So from the previous questions, we know that extracts are not great here. One's about like clothes reselling, the other one is a very brief extract about development. And this is why I love this question and really do practice this question a lot with my students, since it's quite a simple concept, but the question is really broad. And since the question is really broad, it's asking about very generic impacts on an economy. And this is where you can really test your exam technique. So most students, when you think about the economy, very simply think about the money side of things. So things like AD, things like LRAS, and that's the only thing that they think about with regards to the economy. This question is asking on the effects on the Rwandan economy, but also always try to broaden that perspective. Try to also think, what is the point of AD? What is the point of all these indicators like economic growth, like shifting our LRAS? At the end of the day, what we are trying to achieve is living standards. We're trying to improve our living standards. So one thing 100% you should be commenting on in this 10-mark question, because remember, these questions so far in this section B have really been to do with the concept and the topics of growth and development. So 100%, I would like you, one of these paragraphs at least, speak about how this reduction in aid, how it's going to actually translate to difference in the economy. And one of the biggest shareholders in the economy are households, people, us. And when there's a reduction in aid, how it's going to reduce or affect these Rwandan individuals' living standards. And of course, earlier in the extract, it has told us about things like absolute poverty. And of course, if there's less aid, things like this massive 20%, nearly 20% reduction in absolute poverty may creep back up, or the reduction in the Gini coefficient value may again creep back up, as there's been a massive reduction per capita in aid. So like I said, the question is very broad, and that's a very good thing for the high level students, as you can literally speak about anything. But for that middle to lower level students, because it's so broad, they become quite confused and they have no idea how to navigate it. But now, like I said, I would definitely go about this by talking about the different shareholders in the economy. And like I said, one of them is households. And what's another massive one? Of course, the government. So how is a reduction in aid going to affect the government? And of course, reduction in aid, if a lot of that money went to the government, what does it mean for the government finances? It means there's going to be a massive reduction in the government finances. And in developing countries, when we think about development and growth, what do these countries spend that aid on? They spend it on things like supply side policies. What's a massive example of a supply side policy? Things like education. And now, of course, again, in the extract, it's talked about, I believe, somewhere here. So 2/3 drop in child mortality, but then more importantly, near universal primary school enrollment. So therefore, of course, with a reduction in these supply side policies, a reduction in funding for these supply side policies, such as these educational policies, it's going to mean that, of course, less educated workforce, less skilled workforce. You can talk about lower levels of human capital. Therefore, if there's lower levels of human capital, individuals are less productive. And this is just classic chain of analysis now, where you can pretty much rattle it off very easily. So if individuals are less productive, how does it affect output? Of course, productivity being output per unit time. It means there's less output for the economy. And if there's less output, you can then relate that back to AD and LRS. Why? If every individual, if the workforce is less skilled, that of course will reduce the productive potential for the economy. And very simply, AD, one component of AD is of course exports. And if we're exporting less, as of course we're producing less, it will of course cause both AD and LRS to shift in. Therefore, negative economic growth, which could be your first paragraph on the impact on the Rwandan economy. So just a quick summary of what I was mentioning there in a written form for that 10-mark question. So one impact on the Rwandan economy is the economy is going to shrink, the circular flow will shrink, negative economic growth. Why? Government has less money, therefore less money to spend on these supply side policies such as educational spending. Quoted the extract again, like I said, you need to secure those easy application marks. And why is that? As it will lead to lower level of skills, thus lower human capital, less productive. And there's many ways you can go about this chain of analysis. You could end it off by saying, as these individuals are less productive, the workforce is less productive. It will therefore mean they have less bargaining power. They can demand lower wages. Thus, you can link that therefore to consumption. Therefore, meaning less consumption in the economy. AD shifts in, negative economic growth. There's lots of different ways you can go about it, but I've just basically concluded it with the diagram showing both the LRS and AD shift in. Again, you don't even need to include the diagram here, but yeah, really simple, really fast chain of analysis, just making sure you pick a point, talk about impact on a specific shareholder. So in this paragraph, we've done the government, also we've linked it a bit to workers, which of course is another shareholder in the economy. And of course, you will have to evaluate this 10-mark question. And a really simple evaluation here is that, of course, I always tell my students, how do you evaluate? Read through your chain of analysis, find any assumptions you've made. Economics, we're always making assumptions. Let's do that here. So government has less money, thus have less money to spend on supply side policies. Now, this may not always hold. It may not always be true. Yes, the government have less money as they received less aid, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to start spending less on supply side policies such as educational spending. They may cut spending in other sectors that don't affect growth and development. Therefore, so for example, they may cut their bureaucracy spending or just in a different sector of the economy. Therefore, they may have a drop in aid, may have no impact on their funding for supply side policies, thus acting as a really good evaluation and acting as massive constraint of our chain of analysis. So it's a really good evaluation point there. So one way you can word it is, however, in evaluation, this depends on whether a reduction in aid would actually affect the Rwandan government's budget for supply side policy. And then of course you can go on to develop it from there. Moving on to the second part of this question. Now, for this paragraph, I'm going to speak more on the section where most students at A-level totally forget about. Like I said, the economy is not just the money side of things. It is the people. It is more specifically the living standards. And I want you to, let's forget this question for a second, just develop some deep understanding here. What is the role of the government? What is the point of the government? The government set these macro objectives. So of course we have our 7 macro objectives that you should know, such as low and stable inflation, 2% plus or minus 1%. We have high economic growth, we have things like balance of payment. But these macro objectives are a means to an end. The reason why we want to achieve them is for the main thing, is living standards. Whether you believe it or not, the main reason the government is instated is to improve living standards. And the way we improve these living standards is by, well, the way the government thinks we can improve these living standards the best is by achieving these several macroeconomic objectives. So, back to the question now, that is the reason why for this question, and the impact on the economy for this question is going to be to do with living standards. So let's think about reduction in aid. How is that going to affect living standards? And I'm going to focus mostly on what this extract has given with regards to absolute poverty. So of course my paragraph point is going to be when there is a reduction in aid in Rwanda. So for example, from, we said £102 to £91 from 2017 to 2018. This is going to lead to an increase in absolute poverty. Why is that? For example, lots of aid initiatives provide direct aid. For example, food for low-income individuals, or maybe housing. Now, with the reduction in aid, this means they may no longer have access to these essentials, to these necessities. Thus, they have to spend more of a higher proportion of their income to afford these necessities, or just go without them, which of course increases the degree of absolute poverty. If you think about essentials like housing, food, water, they may have to go without them as they cannot afford them. But then also, if they're spending a larger proportion of their income on these essentials, on these necessities, what does that also affect? It affects the Gini coefficient as well. And of course, you can link that to inequality. That massively increases the degree of inequality within society, as some individuals may not be able to even afford necessities, whereas of course some individuals in society with lots of disposable income will be able to afford luxury goods. And of course, the gap, what do we define income inequality as? The difference between the highest income earners in society and the lowest income earners in society. And a reduction in aid, of course, worsens that gap, because the lowest income individuals now may no longer even have an income, may no longer get any support from aid. And with these example chains of analysis, there's lots of different ways in your own unique perspective you can link it to. For example, the savings gap. If you want to talk about these low income individuals, they're no longer getting aid, therefore they have less money to save. And of course, if there's less money to save, there's less investment, and of course, less growth in the economy overall. So lots of different ways you can link this. But of course, yeah, that is what I'd write for those 2 paragraphs for the 10-mark question. Of course, I would finish this paragraph off with another evaluation point, especially if you have time. And a good bit of evaluation there you could mention is about the absolute poverty part we were talking about. So we assumed that the reason why Rwanda's absolute poverty declined from 59 to 39% was due to aid. But in reality, that could have been due to government intervention, like government supply side policies. So you could word it, however, in evaluation, this depends on what caused the drop in absolute poverty. Then you go on to develop it, talk about how if it was caused by government policies, despite a decrease in aid, absolute poverty should not rise. And of course, for the 10-mark question, there's only 4 evaluation marks. You don't need massive evaluation points. Just make sure you're straight to the point, slightly developed, and you should be fine.